in and talk about the Giants and what they're doing right now. They're 13 games over 500. They've won 7 in a row. Here's your water cooler stat for tomorrow. You guys ready for this? The most wins in Major League Baseball since April 22nd. Giants with 48 in all of baseball. 48 wins. Braves second with 47. Dodgers third with 45. Orioles fourth, tied for third with 45. 48 wins the Giants have since April 22nd. They're 24-9 since May 1st on the road. I mean, it's okay to get excited about this team. You know, we take calls every night, and you guys are amazing. Full phone lines for 4 hours every night. Everybody's fired up about the Giants. And I always hear a little trepidation with you can let your guard down now. This is a really good team. And it has a chance to get better. And my one takeaway from today, other than Wilmer Flores with 2 home runs, Camilo Duvall with 2 saves. I know technically not 2 saves because the game started yesterday. Whatever. He pitched twice today. And the 2 wins in one day. I mean, this cements for me that the Giants are going to be big-time buyers at the trade deadline. We didn't know they might. They're get a part here. No. This has to be your pot committed to winning the World Series right now based on what's going on. And tonight, winning 2 games in Cincinnati, hostile environment, really good team. You've won all the games on the road so far, 5 in a row on the road, 2 before the All-Star break, 7 in a row. This is what great teams do out of the All-Star break. We said this team was tired going to the All-Star break. They looked tired. Their decision-making process at the plate was, which tells me they're tired. A tired hitter doesn't really want to get into a game plan. I just want to swing. And that's what they were doing. All of a sudden, they got recharged, 4 days off, and here we are with, throw all kinds of adversity at them for an athlete, that kind of adversity. Rain delay here, rain delay there. You know, we could come out, so you got second and third, nobody out. They get out of the jam, it's 2-2, and they still find a way to win 4-2. Then the second game, or the full game today, was one of the most exciting games I've seen in a long time in baseball, 11-10. And with Wilmer, I really don't know where to start. They're 28-19 on the road. Camilo Duvall, it should be Caballo Duvall. What a horse going out there twice today. His 30th save in game 2, however you want to call it. The record is 48 by Rod Beck. It seems like he has a really good chance to break that. Don't want to jinx that. And there's a million ways to go here. When Patrick Bailey is in a Giants game on the road this year, they're 19-4. So there's all kinds of great stats to talk about. But the one thing I really want to hit on tonight is this is a really good team. And they have character. And they have grit. And they find a way. The one thing I would worry about with the trade deadline is messing up the chemistry right now because it's so damn good. And you could just tell these guys love playing for each other. It's selfless baseball. It's check your ego at the door. What do I have to do to help this team win? What do I have to do to help this team win? Brett Wisely tonight with his biggest game as a major leaguer, scored 3 runs, made some great plays, slipped on the bag. And oh, by the way, don't be afraid to give Gabe Kapler a little credit here. He gave up his DH to put Wilmer Flores in at first. Jock Peterson does not pick that last ball in the double play. That was a tough pick by Wilmer Flores to end the game. So he gave up his DH. Gabe Kapler's pushing all the right buttons, or pulling them. I don't know if you push or pull the buttons, not sure. But this is just fun to watch. What a wild ride. And there's no victory laps yet. There's a long way to go in the season. But early on, when everybody was upset about this team, even in December and January with who they didn't sign, and you guys were coming on the show in April and May and going nuts about this team when they lost to Detroit, and they lost some games in Miami, and they were 6-13 to start the year, and everybody was ready to kill them. And now they're 13 games over 500. They've left 500 in the rearview mirror. And it's not, but there's so many numbers, and I know it's a numbers game, and that's what baseball is all about, but you guys know this. Giants fans are the smartest fans in all of baseball. You know what you're seeing with your own eyes. You know what you're looking at on a daily basis. This team finds a freaking way to win a game. Oh, you score? We're going to score. We're going to answer right back. You're going to hit a home run? We're going to hit a home run. Cincinnati, I think, in the summertime when it's hot and humid, is a tougher place to win than Colorado. Just because pop-up squad, they're off the end of the bat, the other way. The infield is hard. It's conducive to balls getting through. It's a hitter's paradise. The only negative there is there's no room for base hits to fall because it's such a small part. But if you get it up in the air when it's warm out, and West Coast teams aren't used to weather. West Coast teams aren't used to rain delays. If you play back east, you play in the Midwest, it's part of it. By the way, I tweeted tonight that every team should have a roof on their stadium. Like Seattle, just a roof on the stadium. Not a dome stadium, but like a retractable roof. So you're outdoors, but it's 2023. There shouldn't be rain delays anymore. Like, come on. This isn't 1948. Like, let's spend some money and put some roofs on the Midwest and East Coast ballparks. You don't need them out here. Let's go to Michael in Pittsburgh real quick. Phone lines, 808 KNBR if you want to chime in. You're still driving around 10 o'clock. You're fired up about this team. Things are looking great for the Giants. Michael, what do you got tonight?
Hey, I know you guys, I don't want to be the bad guy here, but I know you guys are all excited by the Giants win today and everything. But, man, we need to start pitching. And what's his name? Desclafani. Every time he starts, I just don't have confidence in him. So I think we need to address our starting pitching.
Well, I mean, that's not a bad take at all. And I think the Giants are maybe a starter or two away from a parade. I think that's how close they are right now with their bullpen intact, with the lineup grinding like it is. Maybe get a second baseman until Tyro Estrada comes back. But don't forget, Tyro's coming back. Mitch Haniger's coming back. Brebbia's coming back. I forget who I'm leaving out. There's a lot of players coming back. But I agree with you. I mean, it's not a negative take, and you're not raining on anybody's parade. I think if they get a 1, 2, or a 3 starter, that now you're – but here's the thing. They're gonna do everything they can. And I know this because I've talked to people. They're very active right now. And I think tonight really cements maybe even turning it up a notch even more, that they're 5-0 out of the All-Star break. They're 13 games over 500. They're really flirting hard with winning the division. And now is when you go. Now is when, if I'm a front office guy, never been a front office guy, I don't know anything about being a front office guy. If it were me, I'd push all my chips in right now for whatever. I don't think it's going to be a huge name. I don't think it's going to be a frontline name. I know everybody likes talking about Ohtani, and we milked 3 shows out of it last week, and I understand that. I don't think it's going to be that, but it's going to be something. And it's going to be something significant, whether it's somebody up the middle, whether it's a starting pitcher. Farhan is working hard right now. So is Pete Patella. I know they're very active right now.
Great. Hey, by the way, I was a big fan of you and that guy Rios. So, nice talking to you.
All right. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Fighting Hydrants way back in the day. I can't even remember that far back. I can't remember yesterday. All right. Going to take a quick break. 808 KNBR. The Giants with a couple of wins today. Does it get any better than that? I mean, for a Giants fan, 2 games in one day, that first game could have went either way, and then you don't know what you're talking about for game 2. And you saw like a Coors Field game, and that's the way the Great American Small Park plays, especially when it's warm in the summer. So the Giants win, I guess, the second game 11-10, 13 games over 500. The first time since 2021, the Giants have been 13 games over 500. They won 107 games that year. 808 KNBR, if you want to chime in. The Giants win a couple of games today. They're playing well. It's fun. Let's talk about it next on the Sports Leader.
Missed an interview or want to hear it again? Catch them all at knbr.com/podcasts. You're tuned in to KNBR Tonight with FP Santangelo on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
In the outfield, there's a long drive to left field, down the line. That one is headed for a different county. Upper deck, 1-0 Giants.
1-0 pitch. He swings and drives one high and deep out to left center field. Friedel's going back on the track, looking up. It is gone. And Wilmer Flores has done it again. A 3-run home run here in the third as he drives one into the Reds' bullpen. And on one swing, the Giants have tied the game at 4.
I mean, what Wilmer Flores is doing right now is spectacular. I mean, just a pro's pro. He's a pro hitter. He sits around, you put him in, and then he gets locked in like this. You want some stats on Wilmer Flores? He's 18 for 40 in July. That's a 450 batting average in the month of July. He's hit safely in 10 of 12. He has multiple hits in 6 of those. He's got 4 doubles, 3 taters, and 7 runs. He has a 475 on base percentage. So right now, Wilmer Flores is getting it done. And maybe one of the most impressive things, besides the obvious, is that pick he made on Wisely's throw where he slipped on the bag to end the double play in the 11-10 win. So, I mean, we love this guy, right? He's a baseball player. They signed him back. And when I say baseball player, I've got a lot of eye rolls from my friends when I say that. That's a term that you use when somebody plays the game the right way. Like, he's a baseball player. And Wilmer Flores is every bit of a baseball player. Really fun to watch him do his thing right now. I mean, I could probably break this down for you. It's hard on radio, but if you watch how he's just kind of setting his front side, he's got the bat kind of right by his right ear, his back ear, and his front shoulder's so closed. Like he's really closed up, and he's just unwinding at the last second. He's not flying open. Flying open is when you kind of step in the bucket a little bit and your front side comes out. It's called a leak, and then teams throw you away, whether it's fastball or slider away. He's staying so nice and closed and so quiet. If you're watching the streaming right now, I'm doing a demonstration. Go to KNBR app, our all-new KNBR app. Check it out. Front side closed and just unwinding through the baseball. So he's in the zone, man. You get in that zone for maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks if you're lucky as a player during the season, where the ball is moving real slow. You're seeing it right out of his hand. You're picking up pitch, rotation, and location. I don't know, a click earlier than normal. And it's like your brain is just going so slow. And if you could bottle that and sell it, I wouldn't be talking to you today. I'd have an island somewhere. I'd be living on my own island, just walking around naked all day with my boat and just like sitting there and on the beach on my own island. But I digress. Let's go to Easy Money in Las Vegas. Easy Money, you're on the Sports Leader. What's going on?
Hey, FP. I get it. I understand what everybody's saying. We need a starter. Yep, I get it. But look at the pieces that we do have.
Right.
We're getting a good look at that middle relief. A real good look at that middle relief. And then to your point about that optimism, with the lineup that we have, everybody's platooning and competing with one another. It's a real sibling rivalry where the team is just, hey, next man up. If I get some playing time, I'm going to put some wood on the ball. I like what I see.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, there were some negatives. Sean Manaea looked like he was really feeling for the baseball. And I told Jacob, he was asking why so many runs were scored tonight. And I was talking to Jacob, my producer, tonight. And if you're a West Coast guy and you play in the Midwest, baseball's always played in the summer, right? So it's hot and you sweat. But that muggy humidity thing and the grip on the baseball, Manaea's slider was rolling in there. Everybody's off-speed today was slippery. And a slippery off-speed pitch hangs. And then with the warm weather in a small ballpark, the ball is going to fly. I saw a tweet with all the runs that were scored in baseball today. It's amazing when you look at all the scores. I mean, there's football scores all over baseball, and that's just because of the heat wave and what's going on. The baseball flies in warm, humid weather, and that's what happened today. I can't get a grip on the baseball as a pitcher in warm, humid weather. So I still throw my fastball, but you get a lot of walks, you get a lot of hanging sliders, almost like playing in Coors Field where the seams don't really grip in the thin air and the off-speed hangs there. That's what you're seeing a lot tonight. So I guess my point is, but Sean Manaea's got to pick it up a little bit. He does. I mean, he's a big sign. Stripling looks like he's heading the right direction. I'm not sure about DeSclafani right now, but hey, these guys are pros. They'll figure it out. I thought DeSclafani might have got a little bit of a quick hook tonight, but that said, I would be thinking about another ring if they get one or two more pitchers, and that one of those two pitchers could be pitching in Sacramento right now, if you know what I mean. So we'll see how that works. All right, Easy Money. Thanks for the call. Let's go to Bill in Livermore. Bill, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hey, FP, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I mean, the Giants won 2 games in one day. You can't do much better than that. Although, we had to wait a while. It was like a West Coast game on the East Coast or in the Midwest, but that's okay. We'll wait for 2 wins like this. Who cares?
Yeah, we're spoiled out here with the weather we have, and we don't experience that kind of stuff in July. So, but hey, credit to the Giants for hanging in there and finding a way to win both of those games. Pretty impressive. Hey, the question I wanted to ask you. So first, let me just say, FP, what a gift it is to have you on this radio station now, especially a guy who played the game. But I actually met you in 2007 at an event up in Sacramento, Super Bowl event.
Oh, yeah, I remember that when I was working at KHTK.
Yeah, my brother was working at the time. And,
my son might be working at KHTK right now, on air. I'm super excited for him.
How about that?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
And Tom Flores was at that event. And I met you at the event, and I wanted to ask you, because the Giants had just let Jason Schmidt go, and they picked up Barry Zito. And I remember coming up and just saying, hey, very nice to meet you. Can I ask you a question? Yeah, shoot. And I said, how do you feel about the Giants letting Schmidt go and signing Zito? And I don't know if you remember the conversation or
Dude,
remember
that was like 16 years ago. There's no way I remember that. No offense, but there's no way I remember that conversation.
It was a long time ago, but the thing that I really appreciated, FP, was your candor. Because you looked at me and said, I like it. And you said, Schmidt is a word that starts with P that's a slang for the female anatomy.
No, I never said that. You can't say what I said 16 years ago, dude. I don't remember that.
I will never forget this because you had said that, and you said
maybe I did.
I like the Zito signing, and I'll tell you why. Because I think Zito's a winner, and I think he's the kind of guy that's going to bring the Giants a ring.
Well, I was wrong about that too.
And
although he did pitch some big games,
he did pitch. Hey, you go back to 2012. The Giants don't win the ring without him. That huge start in St. Louis. But I remember at that time thinking, wow, really? And I appreciated your candor. It was like, hey, the guy, he put it out there. And actually, you ended up being right. 2 years later, Schmidt was gone. And Zito ended up getting 3 rings with the Giants and had some important wins along the way. So I've always appreciated, your evaluation, and I wanted to ask you about the rookies because I was listening to you a couple of months ago, right when, Schmidt and Bailey and Wisely had come up. And you kind of gave an analysis at that time, and actually you were pretty high on Wisely at the time. And I thought, I want to check back in and see where is FP at with the rookies. What do you see? How do you see these guys developing over time?
Bill, thanks for the call, man. I got tons of calls. I'll answer your question after we got to bounce to other calls. I like Brett Wisely. There was times when I've wobbled on him a little bit, and I'm sure a lot of people did that when they watched me play as a player. But like tonight, he looked more relaxed. He had better body language. He got on base. He scored runs. He's a good player. I remember telling Dave Fleming this right after a post-game wrap one day. We were walking back to the hotel. I forget what city we were in. But I said, I really like him, and I think he's going to be a good big leaguer. He's going to have a great big league career, and I'm sticking to that, even though I've wobbled on him a little bit. I just see a guy that knows he's a baseball player. I know I keep using that term. I sound like a broken record, but he is. He does things to win you games, and it's not about the stats with guys like Brett Wisely yet. It will be. He can hit. I like his approach. He never just looks horrible up there. He swings and misses a little bit too much, but he can play some good defense. He's got a good arm. He can play center field, second, short. Obviously, I like a guy like that. So probably his best game as a big leaguer, his best day as a big leaguer today. He did a lot of good things for the Giants. Let's go to Bruce, and then we got a break. Bruce in Santa Rosa. Bruce, you're on KNBR. What's going on? Bruce, you there? Bruce going once? Bruce got nervous? Let's go to Alex in San Jose. Alex, you're on KNBR. What's up?
What's up, FP, man? Dude, it's crazy to see that Alexander 6-0. I can't as a reliever to get a 6 win and come in and strike out the side.
Dude, you know what? A quick Scott Alexander story. We were talking in the hotel lobby, and where was it? I think it was Denver. And we had a beer together, and he told me that he listens to my show every night driving home from the game. He's the only. His dad grew up listening to KNBR. He's a Santa Rosa kid, and his dad grew up listening to KNBR. And he goes, dude, you know what you're talking about, dude. I listen to you every night driving home from the game. I'm like, call in as just Scott from Santa Rosa, dude. We'll get you on the show. And he started laughing. But like, how nails has he been?
He's been amazing. I mean, this is what I'm used to seeing to win a championship, having a reliable bullpen. But I'm hoping the Giants will. I don't know if Scherzer would want to come, but I think that'd be a sexy name to get.
Dude, I know Max very well. Obviously, I spent a lot of time with him in Washington D.C., and I know that this is hard to say on the air. I know that New York wasn't his favorite city that he used to travel to. Maybe that changed when he's a member of the Mets. I don't know. What I do know is that he loved San Francisco, and he loved playing in this ballpark. And I don't think any pitcher would, right? It's conducive to pitching. That's the guy that I think independent race, as this is going to be, so buckle up, Giants fans. August and September is going to be crazy, especially August. The schedule's nuts in August, so it's good that they're piling up wins right now because August gets really, really hard. But if you have a Max Scherzer on your staff and then a Kyle Harrison comes up, now you got 4 legit starters. Not that Alex Wood isn't, not that Anthony DeSclafani isn't, not that Ross Stripling isn't, but now you're talking like October stuff, right? And I think he would turn it up a notch. The cold weather, or the colder weather, rejuvenates any player. Nobody ever talks about that. And Max Scherzer's a gamer, dude. I know him. I've partied with him. I've been out with him. I know him very, very well. And he lives for winning. He doesn't care how he does it. He's a lot like Kurt Reeder in that sense. He doesn't care how he gets it done. He loves strikeouts. Strikeouts are sexy, and maybe he worries about those too much. Will be the only knock on him. But this guy loves to win. He loves to compete. And you put him in a National League West pennant race for the Giants. I don't care. I don't even know what his numbers are because I haven't been following the Mets. They're probably not good, but you put him in a Giants uniform, you put him in that orange and black, he's going to pull that damn hat down, and he's going to go right after guys. And I don't think, other than picking up a lot of his paycheck, that you'd have to give up too many prospects for him.
Yeah, I think it'd be a salary dump. And then in the offseason, when that one guy from the Angels is looking for a new home, I think if he sees a rotation with himself, Webby, Scherzer, and then Kyle Harrison and Cobb as maybe your 3rd or 4th starter. Oh my God, dude! Like, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. I think you need a middle infielder. I really do. I think you need somebody up the middle. I don't know who that is. Maybe it's Paul DeYoung. Maybe it's Tommy Edman. The Cardinals look like they're going to be sellers. You get a Max Scherzer. Kyle Harrison comes up. Now we're talking. I'm getting like goosebumps even thinking about it right now. There's good things coming. That's why I said in April, and I'm not trying to say I'm right. I've just been around baseball a long time, that you have to give this thing. Baseball is a patient sport. I was around a team that was 19-31 that won a World Series. That, above all, told me it's never how you start, it's how you finish. Right now, this team hasn't even peaked yet. They're 13 over. They've won 7 in a row. They have not peaked yet. They're piecing it together with a minor leaguer here, a minor leaguer there, a guy off the bench here, a guy off the bench there. It's a different guy but I'm telling you, I've been around this club. I've been in the bus with them. I've been on the plane with them. I've been in the locker room with them. I've been in the dugout with them for batting practice. These guys love being around each other. And in a day of analytics, when we have everything in our back pocket telling us where to stand, we have every sort of stat at our fingertips as baseball players. There's no stat for these guys loving each other and wanting to win for each other. It's a good group, man. I think Giants fans, it's okay to get excited about them. If you're worried about this, worried about that, these guys that do it for a living, that get there at 8 in the morning and leave at 1 in the morning, they're on it right now. And I was told by somebody big in the organization that they're very active in the trade deadline. They're going to be super proactive. Maybe not the big, huge names you're thinking of, but they're going to be very proactive, and I think we're all going to be excited about what happens on the trade deadline. Got to take a quick break. The commercials you guys stacked up with the rain delay and all the stuff going on at the game today. The game took forever, so we got to play some commercials. Stick with it. If you're on hold, stay right there. I see some great text messages on the text line. I'll get to your texts next on the Sports Leader.
found KNBR Tonight with your host, FP Santangelo, on the Sports Leader.
Giants 1 strike away. Doval comes set. The 2-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. He got him. And the game is over. They had to wait an extra day, but the Giants do open up the series here in Cincinnati with a victory. They once again do it in extra innings.
A double play ball ground to the second. Wisely picks it up behind the bag. Steps in the bag, one, and slips as he did. Throws to first in the dirt, but it's pulled out by Flores, and the ball game is over.
Giants are on fire. The show's on fire. You guys are on fire. Love talking to you every night. 808 KNBR is the number. My buddy Paolo from Firenze by Night in North Beach just called me. Tremendous Italian restaurant. And I'm going to Italy Sunday for the first time ever. Never been to the motherland. At my age, I'm finally going home. So I'm excited to do that. I'm going to miss all next week, but going with the family and having a good time in Italy. And he's going to give me tips. I just called him during the commercial break. Apparently he has a buddy that has a restaurant in Amalfi. So you take the water taxi over. I don't know, dude. I've never been there. I don't even know. My girlfriend planned the whole trip. I don't know what. I'm just going along for the ride and going to have a good time for the first time ever going to Italy. In the meantime, 808 KNBR is the number. Just thought I'd share that with you. Nobody cares. Mike in Eugene, Oregon. Mike, you're on KNBR. What's going on, dude?
FP, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Hey, man, you're going to Italy, man. That's far out. I'm glad you're finally getting to go, man. Having a good time with the family and that. Good.
Awesome. Yes, I can't wait. But in the meantime, I'm having fun with the show and you guys and talking about the Giants and their 13 games over 500, first time since 2021. They've won 7 in a row. Life is good, Mike. If you're a Giants fan and you're watching this ball club battle, scrap, and claw, they're grindy, as Jock Peterson said.
Well, yeah, and I feel that way. And, it was after the game when I walked out of the stadium on when they lost to the Rockies, and we were, commenting. I said, you know what, man, this team's still in it, dude, and they're still in it. And after the All-Star break, they came back a little bit refreshed, and I mean, every inning there was somebody on base, right? Something was happening, and this was the most activity, the most fun it seemed like it was going on, and it was back-to-back. I mean, my God, the last night the game was delayed. It wasn't going to happen. It was going to happen, and then they come back, and then they have a thrilling 10th inning win. Are you kidding me?
I know.
And I like I told you, I've been stoked from day one, FP, and they're getting better and better. And hey, I want to chop off the Dodgers' head, man. Let's take it.
Let's go for the big boys, man. But that's why I've been calling the Giants big boys. Does anybody ever call them big boys? Giants, Giants big boys. Get that? I don't know, but they're playing like big boys right now. The kids are stepping up. They're starting to play with confidence and relaxation. You're getting toward the bottom of the lineup. Luis Matos is just a solid player. The more you see this guy, he made a base running error, but so did the shortstop Ellie, whatever his name is, for the Reds. Same thing. By the way, yes, De La Cruz. Sorry, I drew a blank. I had too much coffee. De La Cruz. By the way, Tyler Rogers. Don't sleep on Tyler Rogers winning the game with an inside move the first game. Like it's called an inside move when you just spin around, do the little pirouette. A lot of times base runners will go as soon as you lift up your left leg to get a good jump to third. But what he did, ducking down like he was going sidearm, I'm doing it on the air. This is such good radio right now. And then doing the inside move and getting De La Cruz, who left too early. That was a borderline balk because he dipped down a little bit, and I think it locked up the umpires too because you can't deceive the runner. So when you do that inside move, you have to go back towards second base. But he did a little bend over, and apparently he worked on that with Mark Hallberg in spring training, and that was the first time they pulled it out tonight in that big situation to get what would have been the winning run for the Reds. So everything they're doing right now, Mike, it's a good baseball team. It's a solid baseball team. Everybody was worried about superstars in the offseason. We need a superstar. We need a superstar. We need a superstar. Guess what? You got 26 ballers busting their ass every single night, finding a way to win. I'll take that over superstars any day.
Well, and I'd rather see them now being smart like you were talking about. Maybe if they could pick up Scherzer and pick up somebody up the middle, and pick up a bat maybe off the bench. I think that's what we could use. I mean, we could always use a bat off the bench, but we don't have to sell our franchise. We don't have to go Tommy hunting right now.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think so. I'm with you.
I just I like where we're going, and like I said, I smell Dodger Boo, man. I just smell it, man. And I this ain't the wild card. I mean, we weren't talking that. We're talking that they're in position now. They caught the D-backs. The D-backs are behind them. They're in their rearview mirror. Like you said, 500's in the rearview mirror, and there's only one thing in front of them right now, you know. And they just got to keep on doing what they're doing. And you know, they're playing. They're working hard, and that impressed me the most. Is they didn't mail it in. They didn't mail in the second game.
No,
you know,
they don't. That's just not the way they roll, dude.
After Disco gave up those home runs, they didn't bag it. They kept on battling back every inning, and that's what we're going to see. Hopefully the rest of the season, brother. And we're going to, you know. And I don't know about the parade, man, but, you know, we're going to come damn close.
The parade is all about luck, man. When you get in the postseason, every bounce has got to go your way. You got to have that thing going on, whatever that thing is that analytics can't figure out what that thing is. You have that thing, and that thing is stronger than any statistic there is when you have that ball of energy and the vibe. And, you know, like Tim Flannery said, I'll never forget his quote, sometimes it's just your time. And that's how I look at the playoffs. Like, it's like the gods and the universe and the energy just look down and go, it's your time to win. And then this bounce goes your way, and then this game is weird, and then you win this game because you're better than the other team. And it all just it's a confluence of all these things coming together. Mike, good to hear your voice. Thanks for the call, man.
Thanks, brother.
So the text line 707 chiming in with a good question. FP, what I don't understand is why MLB doesn't change game times when they know there will be rain and inclement weather. We can track rain by the minute. If you know it will rain game time, why not change the game to earlier or later when it won't rain? That's a very good question. And I asked this about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago when I was back east, because they need to put a dome over that stadium in D.C. and it would rain every day and I would just be so frustrated. And you have a 10 o'clock start and you get out of there at 1 a.m. And why didn't they put a dome over this thing? And here's the deal. When you have a major league game, there's so much that goes into it that we don't think about. And it's the stadium workers, it's the parking attendants, and it's all these things that you just can't change willy-nilly. You can't just like get 40,000 people to change their tickets, change their plans. When people fly in, people drive 3 hours for a game. And if you see the weather coming a day away, sometimes the weather changes on a dime. Sometimes it's forecast for 80% of rain and you get to 7 o'clock and it's not raining. Sometimes it's forecast for 30% of rain, you get to 7 o'clock and it's raining. So anybody will tell you, even with all I'm a weather freak. I got 7 weather apps on my phone. If I wasn't talking to you guys right now, I'd probably be a storm chaser or weatherman on the news. I love weather. Some of my best friends are weathermen on the news. Meteorologist is the right term on the news. Brick Tamlin is a weatherman. So yes, you can't do that, because I've seen times where there's been, you know, a tarp on the field and it's sunny in Detroit. So you can't really forecast it as accurate as you would think. And there's just so much logistics that goes into changing a major league game. And I think, and this was a few years ago, I don't know what the grand total is right now, and I could be off, and I'm just spewing things right now, that it's a $1 million or so profit per team per home game. So if you're just going to throw away $1 million and say, well, we're going to change the game to 1 o'clock today, and then it rains at 1. So it's a difficult thing, man. It's common sense, the question you ask, because I ask the same thing. Like, when you see like a big front coming through and there's like a system, and, you know, there was some times when I was back east where a tropical storm would be rolling up the coast from the Atlantic Ocean, and you could see that like there was a forecast of 100% chance of rain the next day and for 2 days straight. Like, why can't you play a double header on one day? Well, you lose a gate. Maybe the storm misses us. So yeah, that's a really good question though. And I think we here in California are so used to like, what's a rain delay and what's a tarp? Yeah, you know, I think when I was, where was I, just Pittsburgh, and I was showing DC and Joe Rizzo all my weather apps, and they're just like, why do you have that many weather apps? I'm like, because I worked on the East Coast for a long time. And, you know, DC probably never has to worry about rain delays here, 81 games in San Francisco. And when you grow up in California, you just don't think about that. But it is part of it, and that's a really good question. Let's go to Don in Stockton. Don, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hey, FP. I kind of lost track was what you were talking about, but what I wanted to ask was...
I did too, obviously, but thanks for waiting it out, Tom.
Too much coffee? Yeah.
No, I got a Celsius. These things are like crack, even though I never tried crack, but they're like it.
Oh, anyway.
Maybe I'll do a commercial for them. Hi, FP here for Celsius. They're just like crack.
Somebody said last weekend or the weekend before, talking about Shohei Ohtani, and they said, would you trade Bailey straight across? And I said, what? No way.
That was me. I threw it out there because Susan Slusser and I were talking about in the clubhouse as a joke. Like, would you do it straight up? And 95% of the callers, I did the show in Pittsburgh from the booth after the game till 1 a.m. local time there.
Yeah.
And I would say 98% of the callers said, no way I'd trade Patrick Bailey for Shohei Ohtani.
Not now, because Bailey is too valuable.
I agree. Yeah. I agree, but then I think about it, and I think I would.
Okay. They got so many AAA, AA players that are coming up that, I mean, Bailey is, you see what he's doing. The guy is so valuable to us right now. They got to find another way. I mean, if we get Shohei, how long is he going to be with us? Is he going to be there the rest of the year? Then we got to pay, what, $500 million for a big contract. I don't think it's worth it right now. We are just doing too good. We got the greatest team going right now. I'm just so happy the way that, the players we've got right now. Mateo coming up. He's cooking, all these younger players. I mean, I don't remember when Bailey showed up, but since he's been there, he's pegging guys, and he's really helped us out.
He almost threw out Ellie De La Cruz tonight. He's like the fastest human on the planet, and it was bang, bang, and he just got his oven mitt in there. By the way, they have to start legalizing these oven mitts these guys are wearing on the bases because they're getting so big that it's adding them getting to the base. They're wearing these huge oven mitts now, and it's adding 4 or 5 inches to their slide and being safer out. So, yeah, they got to start having a regulation on the oven mitts.
Do you think that player will come up for a trade, the third baseman, the shortstop that was playing for Cincinnati?
No, he's untouchable. He's a franchise player for a lot of years there.
Oh, my God, he's so young, and what a player, man. My God, he fires the ball.
Yeah, his arm and the throws he was making, they made a couple last night. He made one today. It's just, it's impressive. I'm wondering how he stayed in the minor leagues as long as he did. I was I would call that guy up right away. But he's still raw. He made that base running mistake. And then there was a double play feed later in the game where he was too close to the second baseman. And if I'm David Bell, I say, hey, look, even if you have to take 3 steps or 4 steps to take it yourself on anything that takes you toward second base with your arm, it's faster than you flipping it. Just 3 or 4 steps, touch the bag, and let it eat. He should never flip the ball to a guy with. I mean, he was too close. So if you're a shortstop and you flip a ball to the second baseman that close, I can't see it. It comes out of your pants because it's an underhand feed, and you're so close. It's and that's exactly what happened. And that was a big break for the Giants.
It sure was. They had a lot of 2-out hits tonight, and I just love the way they're playing right now. Hey, thanks again. I'll talk to you another time, huh?
Yeah, man. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it down in Stockton. Got to take a quick break. We have a lot of commercials piled up. I'll take your calls on the other side of the break. Giants win 11-10, 4-2, 5-6. I don't know what the hell. Now, they've won 2 games tonight. If you're a Giants fan, how can you not be excited about this team and what happened tonight? And if you're still worried about this ball club, I feel like they're 13 games over 500. They won 7 in a row. You can let your hair down a little bit. This is a good baseball team. Your call's next on the Sports Leader.
I mean, I don't remember when Bailey showed up, but since he's been there, he's pegging guys.
Download the all-new KNBR app. Now, KNBR Tonight with FP Santangelo continues live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Studio. Casino Matrix progressive jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Marcano runs, Bailey throws, Crawford tags, out at second. Patrick Bailey catches another runner trying to steal, and he did that one without a whole lot of stress. Man, that was a beautiful throw again from Patrick Bailey.
I mean, I don't remember when Bailey showed up, but since he's been there, he's pegging guys.
It's 10:56 at night. I can say it's all right to peg guys, right? I mean, whatever. I'm a whatever makes you happy guy.
Since he's been there, he's pegging guys.
And if you like to peg whoever, it's whatever makes you happy. That's been my attitude about that stuff forever, for my whole life. You want to peg guys? Peg guys. Let's go to Michael in Pacifica. Michael, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hey, Frank Paul, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. I'm slowing down on my talking now because that Celsius went right to my brain. I've been talking way too fast tonight. What do you got, Michael?
Hey, don't be pegging anybody.
Well, hey, that's your thing. That's your thing. You gonna throw guys out? If you're a catcher and you want to throw guys out, throw guys out.
I hear you. Hey, I just left the River Cats game in Sacramento, driving to Pacifica. Who was the kid playing shortstop, batting leadoff? Is his name Kyle Freeland? Did he just get moved up?
For Cincinnati?
No, for Sacramento.
I don't know, dude. I wasn't at the game watching the Giants game. How the hell would I know? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe you're looking at the internet or something. I was hoping you could pick me up. This kid hit a bomb, and he looks great. I think they just moved him up from Double-A.
Call him up.
That roster. Hey, I hear you.
Call him up tomorrow. If he hit a home run, call him up. It's Cincinnati. He might hit another one.
Hey, I'm from Sacramento. I wanted to always ask you, did you play Legion ball?
I did. I played for Folsom American Legion.
Who was your coach back then? Because I coached Hagen Grant's team. I was trying to remember.
You remember? I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank on the air right now. I know my dad helped out one year.
I got you.
Yeah, and then some old dude, and I can't remember his name right now. He's kind of a legend. I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, I'm not good at getting quizzed at 11 o'clock at night. But thanks, Michael. Thanks for the call, and thanks for listening and driving back from the game and listening.
All right, buddy. I'm tired, too. Take care.
Yeah, stay awake. Drink a Celsius. You'll be up all night, just like me. I don't know how the hell I'm going to go to sleep now. Let's go to Dave in Antioch. Dave, you're on the Sports Leader. What's going on, Dave?
Hey, a couple of things I wanted to mention. One thing, with when Webb was pitching against Belt back, I know it's June 29th or so, but when it's on the MLB app, and when he lined out to Casey Schmidt, like Schmidt looked at his watch, like at his glove, and it looked like as if he had like some sort of tracking device or something. I didn't know, or when you talk to the infielders, do they have something like that for position players that help them, like look at to, guide or, position themselves?
They do. Players nowadays have almost like a laminated sheet, the size of a little bit bigger than a credit card, maybe like 2 or 3 credit cards in their back pocket. And I think it has where you're supposed to stand for every hitter on there. And based on who's pitching, and then if a relief pitcher comes in the game, you'll see either Gabe or somebody run out from the dugout and hand new cards to everybody in the infield. So they look after every pitch, they'll look in their back, but they'll pull it out of their back pocket and they'll position themselves accordingly. Outfielders have it too. I think it's good to have that information, but I also think it's good to deviate from it based on what you're seeing with your eyes real time. So, Ron Wotus and I, we talk about this and laugh about it now all the time. He used to have me playing different positions in center field. He would have me playing a guy pull, and in a 2-0 count, if a guy was late on a fastball, I would say, well, I'm not playing him to pull, even if the chart says pull, because today, real time, with my eyes looking at him, he's late on whoever's Rob Den's fastball. So I'm going to play him opposite field. And Wotus would whistle at me from the dugout, and I'd wave him off, and he'd whistle at me again. And this was like the first couple of months of the season. And I finally said, hey, Ron, whoa, I'm paying attention to the game. I'm watching what's happening in real time. I'm not just willy-nilly moving around. I said, this guy was late on a fastball in a hitter's count, so I'm going to play him opposite field. And once I showed him that I was paying attention and I was in the right place most times, because I wasn't the fastest guy in the world, I had to position myself right, but I watched the game real time, and I paid attention to the game real time. So I don't know if these guys are allowed to move around. I would guess they are. But sometimes a scouting report on a given day is wrong. Sometimes the scouting report has you playing a certain position and your pitcher isn't hitting his locations. And if your pitcher isn't hitting his locations, then I might be in the wrong spot. So what I do, I used to take the onus on myself as a baseball player and pay attention to the game. And I think a lot of times now with these cards in their back pocket that it's taking away from the learning curve of, hey, you didn't have to tell me where to play by the second or third game of a series, because if I was playing all 3 or 4 games, I knew when Jacob came up that he'd like to do this, or this based on what the count was, and I would move myself around, whether it was shortstop, second base, center field, left field, or right field, accordingly, because I paid attention to Jacob's at-bats the whole series. And say I didn't play the first game of the series but played the second and third, I paid attention to the hitters while I was on the bench, so when I got in the game, I was standing in the right spot. I was known for being a good defender. And the reason I was a good defender is because I paid attention to the game.
Yeah.
All right, Dave.
Great insight.
Thanks for the call, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks for listening so late at night. It's 11 o'clock. We got a lot of commercials to get to. Apparently with the rain delay and one of the Reds pitchers getting hurt, that the game went long. And there's lots of commercials to get to. So stick with me. 808 KNBR is the number. We'll take your calls. We'll read your text messages next on The Sports Leader.
wherever you are. We're streaming 24/7 at KNBR.com. This is KNBR Tonight with your host, former Giant FP Santangelo on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
There go the runners. The pitch is in the dirt, ball 4. And Casey Schmidt draws the bases loaded walk. Yastrzemski scores, and the Giants take a 9-8 lead.
Can we just play the music? I mean, we're so backed up on commercial breaks, I feel like let's just play music tonight. This is DJ FP. You're listening to classic rock, old-time hits, and this is Boston. It's better than commercials. Keep on chasing a dream, baby. Running Down a Dream was my song to the ballpark at A-Ball every day. Tom Petty, every single day to the yard. Running down a dream. Going wherever it leads, working on them. It just reminded me of being a minor league baseball player, trying to get to the big leagues. Now I'm in the big leagues on KNBR, the best station going right now. Don't forget to listen to Murph and Mac in the morning. They're the best morning show going. They have been for a long time. The rest of the lineup is pretty damn good, too. Let's go back to the phones. Matt in Long Beach. Matt, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
All right, I just have to talk about Bailey. You you had mentioned that you would be, I guess, okay with the trade for Ohtani, just putting him in the mix. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not. I've been against it for 2 weeks now.
He didn't say that.
No, that's not me. I'm not trading the kids away. That's why we love this team so much. I'll sign Ohtani in the offseason if I had that much money. I think the Giants should open up their checkbook in December or January and get him. But I ain't trading him for a rental player. I ain't trading away these kids. That's why we love this team right now, because we love the youth running around, and we're all excited because of that.
Awesome. Okay.
Wait, who's in the background, Matt?
That's Claudia.
Can I? I'd rather talk to her. Can you put her on?
Absolutely.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so yeah,
Hi, Claudia.
we love Bailey.
I love I love the background applause. So I don't think you should be in the background. I want to get you on the show. You love these kids, right? That's why we're excited about this team.
Yes, dude, Bailey. Oh my God, the whole team, fucking yeah.
Well, you can't swear when you come on the show. That was my fault. I brought her on. That was my fault. And it's 11 o'clock at night. You should once KNBR gets to 11 o'clock at night, you should be able to drop F-bombs at will. Everybody should just come on here and just be like, F-bomb this, F-bomb that. Why? We can't do that? Not even late night? Like after midnight, I feel like. Like who's going to be driving around their car at midnight going, oh my God, I heard an F-bomb on KNBR. I'm going to tell nobody.
Hey, don't be pegging anybody.
You can't peg it. Well, you can peg whoever you want. I said that last segment. You want to throw guys out at second, throw guys out at second. You want to peg guys, you want to peg. Yeah, as long as it's consensual, throw somebody out. That's all I'm saying. And literally, say we have, 2 million people listening right now, which is probably close to the truth. My nose is growing. But this is the hottest show going right now. We get full phone lines for 4 hours. Everybody's listening. Everywhere I go in town, people are stopping. Cops are stopping me on my runs. Like, oh, my God, your show's on fire right now. You've really hit your stride. And we have. And it's because of the Giants. It has nothing to do with me. But you guys like talking baseball. We love talking. I wonder if, like, at midnight, say like 12:01, you could make up your own rules. And I wonder if all the people listening, one person would complain if I just started dropping, like, F-bombs left and right. I know it'd be the last time I ever worked. But you just, like... You wonder, like, why? This is my thing. You want my outside the box take? Who decided the F word was a bad word? Who decided that way back when? Whether it was England before English came over to America, who was the one person that said, "Oh my God, you can't say that word. That's a bad word"? Why isn't "the" a bad word? Why isn't like in 1464 they said, "Oh my God, you said the, you can't say the. The's a bad word." So who made up the rules that the F word is a bad word? Like, who made that up? Because I want to find him, and I want to tell him that he's full of S. Well, I can't say. He's full of S. Why is S a bad word? Who decided that S was a bad word way back when? Why isn't, brownie? Why isn't brownie a bad word? You brownie, yeah. You know what I mean? Like the dessert, brownies. Why isn't that a bad word? Why'd they name them brownies? Like, if you want to really get deep at 11 o'clock at night, who named everything? Why did they name everything? And why did you decide that was a bad word? And why can't we say it? They're just words. They're just words. Let's go to John on the Bay Bridge. John, you're on KNBR.
It's Johan.
Oh, yeah, Johan. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Thanks for calling, Johan. My bad on your name, dude.
Oh, dude, it's misspelled since the day of my birth. 2 birth certificates.
All right. You got you got 2 birth certificates?
Yeah, dude, they misspelled my name.
No way. Did you change your birth date on one of them so you could be like, I'm really 35?
Dude, my dad probably did that so I could play Little League.
You were the kid with like a full beard in Little League just striking everybody out with a deep voice?
No, I was the 8-year-old playing with the 10-year-old.
Nice. What do you want to talk about tonight, Johan?
Back at Sunrise Little League, baby.
All right.
Tonight, hey, I got one complaint. I got to go complain first.
Go ahead.
Sacramento, and I hear no Kings talk coming out of you, brother.
It's not basketball season, and B, this is KNBR 680, the sports leader, and we talk about Warriors, Giants, and Niners here.
But back to the reason I called, bro. Hey, I grown up watching you, listening to you. Actually waited on you and Bernsey and Grant Napier and Paul Martins.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, that used to be the place. Yeah.
Yeah, and I waited
Brian
on you
Bennett.
guys night before you went downtown.
Brian Bennett's the owner there. He's a good dude. Friend of mine.
Dude, he's like my dad, dude. I love that guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll be quick. You're killing it, dude. I mean, having been around since the Rise guys back in Sacramento to this, dude, you're killing it, bro. And I just want to give you some props.
Thanks, Johan. I appreciate it. My son's going to be on the Kings station tomorrow, so he's on.
For real?
Yeah, he's on there tomorrow. I'm going to give him a listen, and I'm rooting for him. He's doing a really good job. He's really good at it.
Dude, that's dope. I got 1140 programmed in. What time are they going to be on?
No, you have to listen to. You have to listen to Papa and Lund tomorrow from 2 to 6.
Okay, cool. I'm on it.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it, Johan. Yeah, I'm going to be listening to. Yeah, hum baby, let's go. I'm going to listen to like my son in one ear and Papa and Lund in the other ear. Let's go to Bill in Livermore. Bill, you're on KNBR. Bill hung up. What the hell, Bill? All right, do we need to take another commercial break? That was you? Call back, Bill. Jacob screwed it up. Yeah, we're backed up on commercials because of the rain delay tonight. So 808 KNBR is the number. I'll read some text messages about, it's all about the F word. You can swear on the text line, though, if you want. I don't care. Anybody but UFP dropping F-bombs, and I'm losing my mind. I'm not going to drop F-bombs. You could say anything you want once on TV or radio. You can say whatever you want once, then you're fired. Yeah, I just never understood why a word was bad. My son, when he was like in 4th grade, the teacher called me and she said, like, your son taught everybody the F word in class today. And so he heard me talking to the teacher. I giggled, and the teacher goes, you think that's funny? And I'm like, well, he grew up in locker rooms. He grew up around baseball players. We use that. I use that around him too much. That's my fault. I'm not going to be a hypocrite, but I'll make sure he doesn't do it again. So he was like, I don't know, 8 years old, 7 years old, 6 maybe. He started crying. Heard the phone call. I'm like, dude, you're not in trouble. He's like, I'm not in trouble? I'm like, no, you're not in trouble. I go, Dad says that word too much. You've been around all my dad's friends in the locker room your whole life. They say that word too much. Here's the thing. We don't say it at school. We don't say it in front of girls. If you're in baseball practice with your bros, okay. You're going to say it someday, whether you're 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 56 years old, you're probably going to drop F-bombs. Like, it's whatever, So maybe that was bad parenting, but he goes, I'm not in trouble. I'm like, no, just don't say it again. You say it again, you're in trouble. Let's go to Phil in Livermore. Phil, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hey, so I guess it's now F-bomb P Candelo.
Yeah, yes. I like that.
I like it too. It just came to me. So how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Well?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Phil?
Life's been better at times. I can't remember when.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, hey, it's all the lens you look at things through. It's perspective, right? We can find the bad in every day. We can find the good in every day. We can look at ourselves as bad. We can look at ourselves as good. We can look at the Giants as bad. We can look at the Giants as good. It's all the lens you look at things through. So there's a lot of good going on right now.
The mosaic, are you pulling that on me?
I'm pulling some deep stuff on you late at night.
All Oh, man. Giants kicked butt today. I just want to say I'm happy they're doing well.
Yeah, me too, Phil. It's a fun team to watch, and you just have that feeling. And I think it started to happen in Denver when they were playing the Rockies, where maybe even the homestand before that, where you just had a feeling like they were in every game no matter what the score was. And that's a powerful thing to have as a ball club, man. When you have that it's just not a matter of if, it's a matter of when we're going to beat these guys. And it's not a matter of who, but anybody can step up. It's a wonderful, vibe and atmosphere in a clubhouse. And these guys have that to where if it's 6-4 in the fifth inning, all right, who's it going to be tonight? We're going to find a way to win this. I was on a team like that in the big leagues once and in the minor leagues a lot with the A's in 2001 and a bunch of minor league teams. We won a bunch of championships in the minors with the Expos where we had that feeling, that vibe where you just know nobody panics. Everybody's pulling for each other. If it's not me, it's the guy behind me. If it's not me on the mound, it's the guy behind me on the mound. And these guys have that, man. It's a wonderful atmosphere, a positive vibe that's going on with this team. And that's what I'm clinging on to more than anything. There's no superstars. These guys are just in it for each other, and it's cool to watch.
Yeah, they're happening to get together extremely well at the exact right time.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Phil. Thanks for the call, man. Everybody wants to share in the positive vibes. Call the show. The 707 chiming in on the text line. FP, do you think Doval can tie or even break the saves record? It's 48 by Rod Beck. He's at 30 right now. I don't know. And the reason I'll say I don't know is because he wanted the ball in the second game. He wanted the 2 saves in one day. I'm worried about Camilo Doval, and I'm the only one that probably is. Everyone's like, he's an all-star. What do you think? He's pitching a lot, man. I don't know what it's going to be like in September. And Gabe knows this. Gabe's one of the smartest guys I've ever been around. But there has to be somebody. Maybe it's Luke Jackson when he comes back to step up and take the load off Camilo. But he can't be saving every single game, man. He can't. That's 102 every night. That's like getting in your car and revving the engine and redlining it, driving around town in a 40 at 110 miles an hour every night. Your car's not going to handle that well. And this is a guy that I love. He's the elite guy. He's the guy right now for me in the big leagues. He's the best closer going. He's unbelievable. His demeanor, his attitude, the way he's going right after you. He even pumped a fist tonight in the second one. Did you see that? He showed emotion tonight. It was super cool. But I'm worried about him. I'm worried they got to take the load. He needs to take 3 days off for me right now. I would just send him on a plane to D.C. Hey, dude, go enjoy the monument. Maybe you can get a White House tour. Just go around and watch the cherry blossoms. Just go to D.C. tomorrow. We'll see you in D.C. Take the off day in D.C. Have a good time. Let's go to Ramiro. Ramiro, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, FP? Those are some good points there about Doval, by the way. He's a little bit overworked. That's something that we don't all notice. But the show's great. It's on fire right now. You're doing a great job. And you were speaking of the caller just now about the feeling around the Giants. I was at the game a few weeks ago, the Monday night game, I think it was, when they walked off against the San Diego Padres. Yastrzemski with the home run. That's one of the best. That's probably the best game I've been to in a long time. And I've been a fan my whole life. So it's the vibes there. I wanted to ask you this though. The trade deadline. I know the Ohtani stuff, but I wanted to just realistic stuff. I think Ohtani would be great to try to go after the season. I think the farm, you've established that so much for the organization, but I think they need a starting pitcher, to be honest. What do you think they need at the trade deadline?
I think they need a middle infielder and a starting pitcher, and I would love for either one of them, and maybe even another reliever. I'm a big believer, Ramiro, in making your strength stronger. So their bullpen's pretty badass right now. And with the load that Camilo Doval's been wearing, for lack of a better word, is it just maybe some help in the bullpen? Not that they need it. The bullpen's locked down, right? They're going to get Brebbia back. They're going to get Luke Jackson back. It's a good bullpen, but another elite dude in the 8th or 9th, to me, makes your games shorter. And then that kind of takes the onus off another starting pitcher. If you can go 6, 7, 8, 9 lockdown, now I only need dudes for 5 innings. Now my lead, if I got to lead in the 5th, it's over. Game's over. That's how you win a World Series. So while we're all looking at starters, and I would love Max Scherzer to be wearing the orange and black, or Justin Verlander, those are my 2 guys that I'm looking at. Maybe even a Patrick Corbin, who pitched another good game the other day, and he's had a really tough time. I know him very well. If you put him in a pennant race, he'll be a different guy. He's just not real enthusiastic about pitching on a last-place team, and that's not what he signed up for with that long-term deal in D.C. He's a gamer. You put Max out of New York, it's a big, deep breath. I don't have all this media. I'm on a winning team. He would pitch great for the Giants. So these are guys I'm looking at. I think there's a kid, Kyle Harrison in AAA, that if they ever pull the trigger on this guy, that would be a nice addition. But nobody's really looking at the bullpen because the bullpen's doing well. I would add another piece to the thing that's doing well. I want to make my strength really freaking strong. And now I'm shortening the games. Now starting pitching isn't that big a deal.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And, like you said, it doesn't hurt to add depth, take some pressure off guys. Patrick Corbin, that's actually an underrated guy right there. I think he's a good pitcher. He's a guy, like you said, he's on a last-place team. He's a good major league pitcher, and then, being on a good team, he's proved it in 2019 with that World Series team, right, with the Nationals. So that's a good name to have, too, maybe. Yeah, the bullpen, it doesn't hurt to have more guys throwing.
And the guys that I mentioned, Ramiro, I don't think you would have to give up prospects. It's more about picking up money. It's about the Nationals would love to get out of that contract. I think he's got $23 million left next year. The Mets would love to get away from Scherzer's contract. And you have to decide as an organization, do you want to pay them next year too? But I'm about keeping the prospects and adding on. And I think there's clever ways, if Farhan's way smarter than I'll ever be, to figure that out where I don't have to give up Luciano. I don't have to give up Casey Schmidt. I don't have to give up Matos. I can keep all these guys and we can get guys at the trade deadline.
Right, the Chris Bryant trade. He didn't give up much for Chris Bryant for the rental. I remember that clearly. You're right.
Do you remember Cody Ross? They claimed him off waivers, and he won us a World Series. Do you remember Marco Scudero? I can't even remember what the trade was, but he won us a World Series. Sometimes it's not the obvious big names. And I was told by somebody in the loop, very close in the loop, that it might not be the biggest names you're thinking of at the trade deadline, but the team is very, very active, and they're going to make some moves.
That's great, and that's the Giants' MO. And I think, like what you said, leadership is smart. They're intelligent. They'll plug them in, and they'll put them somewhere where they can succeed.
They will. Ramiro, good call, man. Thanks for calling so late. I appreciate you staying up. I appreciate you listening to the show. Here's your water cooler stat if you missed it at the top of the show. The most wins in Major League Baseball since April 22nd, your San Francisco Giants with 48. Number 2 is the Braves with 47, the Dodgers 45, and the Orioles 45. So the most wins in Major League Baseball since April 22nd is your San Francisco Giants. Thanks for all the calls tonight. You guys are amazing. Text line fired up. The Giants win 2 games in one day. Does it get any better than that for Giants fans? They've won 7 in a row. They're 13 games over 500. Let me grab my phone real quick and see what the standings say. The last time I looked, they're a game and a half out of first place, folks. A game and a half out of first place. The Dodgers are 55 and 39. The Giants are 54 and 41. I'm getting goosebumps. They're a game and a half out. The Diamondbacks are 2.5 out. Unbelievable. We'll be back tomorrow night after the game. We'll take your calls. We'll talk about hopefully another Giants win. But, folks, let your hair down. Live a little bit. This team is really good. Thanks for all the calls, Jacob. Good job. I appreciate all your help tonight. And like I say on the way out every single night, swing hard in case you hit it on the Sports Leader.